movies. Whether putting in a DVD, watching Netflix, or going to the theater, humans tend to love movies. Heck, we buy food and drink during our 2-hour or so long entertainment. But why do we love them? What is it about movies that humans tend to love? Does it stem back to ancient empires with their classic theater and actors on stages? Or is it just lights on a screen that our brains like?
Oh gosh.
How do movies affect our brains?
We don't know!
I read an article during my research that said something along the lines of this. While an audience is watching a movie, our brains process that movie at the exact same time. Meaning, we only blink when everyone else blinks, like at intense moments or emotional moments. I mean, sure, there are going to be outliers, but there always are with this sort of thing. I came to see a movie here. It was a beautiful film, brilliantly written, amazing sound. It was amazing. It made my sister cry multiple times, but knowing my sister, that could have just as well been the soundtrack. Many years ago, I watched a horror movie with my dad. The scene was extremely scary and I was like almost to tears scared. So he turned down the sound and played classical music instead. Almost immediately, the scene became comical. If that doesn't say how movies and soundtracks affect our brains, I don't know what will. My dad saw that same movie my sister did, and he also cried. But it might not be for the same reason. Hello! I thought I'd come out of the video just for a second to clear something up. The rest of this video will continue to talk about reactions within our brain and how movies affect our brains, but I don't explain how or why scientifically. First of all, endorphins. In our brains, we have a lot of chemicals. One of these things is called endorphins. Any reaction can range from happiness to pain to stress, depending on where the endorphins end up on your nervous system and what they tell your nervous system to feel. So, I'm gonna head back into the video and we can wrap this up. Okay, bye. The movie featured a father who was forced to leave his son and daughter for a long period of time. They still left him messages, though. How does this relate? My dad's brain put my dad in the protagonist's place. This made my dad's brain react to the situation at hand and imagine how would he react if he was in that situation. Thus, my dad cried. It's only the way that his brain was affected by the movie. In his defense, he doesn't cry that often. In fact, they were more of manly tears of manliness, of emotion. Right?
So, around 2001, a lot of movies came out about the war on terrorism and stuff. And so, a lot of these movies didn't really have good reviews, and then after 9/11, the public, they went wild. They were like, oh yeah, we gotta give these stuff our views, because after a big event happened and stuff, then movies become a lot more popular. So...
The point is, audiences around the world form opinions of movies based on the events going on in their lives. For instance, I used to love Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Boo! 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 Guys, come on! I don't love it anymore. I just said that opinions change over time, as do feelings, fears, favorite foods, etc.
Hollywood and the film industry are very aware of the current events and changing opinions. For example, different people like different directors in different types of films. For example, if you like Michael Bay films like the Transformer movies, you probably don't mind, or probably love, explosion and action. If you like J.J. Abrams films, you probably don't mind a lot of lens flares. And if you're a big George Lucas fan, and of the first 3 Star Wars prequel movies, you probably don't mind bad CGI and green screen. Bad CGI and green screen.
And bad toilet jokes.
Yeah.
Do movies melt our brains? Meh. Experts say that it depends on what you're watching, when you're watching, and how much you're watching of it. And honestly, that applies more to TV, which is a completely different story. However, with the introduction of Netflix and downloads available pretty much everywhere, how much of movies you're watching really does affect your brain. Soundtrack and storytelling affect us in a way that other things really can't. They make us laugh, cry, and sometimes utterly just feel stressed. Movies make our brains synchronized almost as if we're all connected. They bring us together, and our opinions of movies change over time due to maturity or just reasons, events in our lives. But in the end, all we need from movies and their affection towards our brains is entertainment.
The opinion stated about the Star Wars prequel trilogy is clearly just a joke and an opinion.